Hi.
Hey bud, how's it going?
Great. How you doing?
It's been a day. It's been
I
a day.
ain't scared.
This is going to be the distraction that I need from the day.
Oh shit, bring him in. Let's do this then.
All right. Here he is.
Chris, talk to me, man.
On, guys. How are you guys?
All right, there we go. Look at
Hey,
him.
Chris.
Jesus Christ. You know he's 58 years old, Rudy.
Damn.
Say again?
You're 58, am I right?
That is not, well, not quite. Not quite. Give me a couple months. Don't age
I
me before
apologize.
it's
No,
time.
no, no. I apologize. That is my mistake.
I
57,
will.
looking like 37. Zaddy. All right. All right, Chris. This is where we're gonna do it. We're not going to do much of a pre-show here. We're just going to get going. You're going to hear a bunch of nonsense, and then we're going to bring you in, and we're going to talk baseball. How's that?
Sounds like TV. All right.
Yep. Rudy, are you ready?
He left the room. He's
Oh.
back.
Rudy said, "Screw this! I'm out of here." What's this about a What's this about a show?
He's
You
got
say?
his Savannah Bananas hat. And he's all set.
There you go.
Have they come to your
Oh.
town yet?
No, my cousin actually did an internship with them
Oh,
and down
really?
in Savannah for opening day. And so I got a lot of swag from it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Is there any chance we can get Rudy in the? Can we turn Chris up a little bit? You sound clear as day. He sounds fine. His audio is just a lot lower than yours.
Um,
Is there
not
nothing
on
you can
my
do on your end?
I can't do anything on my end.
Oh yeah, I didn't know. I'm just checking.
I'll try and speak up.
Okay. Hey, let's have some fun. Let's do some stuff. Okay. Recording in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is your Roller Out the Barrel news break for Thursday, October 4th, 1863. I'm Jonathan McLean. State line, Philadelphia. The Athletic Baseball Club defeated the Keystone Baseball Club by a final score of 14-13. The Keystones had 2 home runs, so they had even more base running mistakes that likely took them out of several runs. The Athletics, not to be outdone, had 2 home runs of their own. Mr. Malone of the Athletics batted second and had 2 hits with 1 run scored, but his pitching was described as being rather wild. Thankfully, Mr. Kleinfelder, his catcher, bailed him out multiple times, including 3 instances where Keystone runners were thrown out trying to steal third base. In other news, yesterday, President Lincoln had ordered the last Thursday in November to be declared a day of thanksgiving and prayer. Apparently, the president didn't want to see a lot of people eating meals by themselves. Today's news break brought to you by Fox's Casino. Come see pure, legitimate, enjoyable amusement, including the Syro Arabic acrobatic troupe with both male and female acrobats, as well as the Clog Dancing Championship of America to be determined. I'm Jonathan McLean, and this has been your Roller Out the Barrel news break. Welcome to the party, pal.
All right. It's the Roller on the Barrel Vintage Baseball podcast thing. Talking to vintage baseball players coast to coast, border and border. You guys love the vintage baseball talk. You love when we get down and dirty into the vintage baseball. And there is no better guest than we could have. There is no better guest. I don't know. I'm just saying that because he's the current guest, but we mean it on some level.
Nothing.
We're going out to the East Coast tonight. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Let me bring in my co-host, my compadre, the piece of resistance, the Shangri-La. I'm in a good mood tonight, Rudy. It's Rudy Frias.
Hey,
What
buddy.
box?
It's so good to see you. I'm in a great mood too. I'm excited. This is easily, as I told you before we hit record, I need this right now. It's been that type of day. I need this. I need this interview. I need this environment. Give it to me.
You totally contradicted yourself. You said everything was great. You're having a great day. And then you said you really need this because it was not a great day. Which one is it?
It has. I think you misheard. It was not a great day. This is a great moment, making the day great right now. This is what I need.
It's a great moment.
Yeah.
Listen, before we bring in our guest, I got to talk to you about something you're going to experience in about 15 years. My daughter got her driver's license and she has a car, and she did not pass the test the first time, just minor stuff, nothing major.
Yeah.
And second time she goes through it, no problem. And so she got those keys, and I don't think I've seen her since. It's been a week. She has been she's driving everywhere, and I have been a nervous wreck. So I tried to talk to her about it today because I have been freaking out and trying not to say anything. I'm trying to be good. And I made her cry. Okay, so I don't know how I did it. I should have been the one crying, but terrible parenting today on my part, as I'm just trying to reel her in, and I just made more bait on the hook, I think. I don't know.
No, don't beat yourself up, buddy. The teenagers these days are dealing with a lot, and don't beat yourself up.
Chris is going to be able to talk about this too. Let's bring in our guest. Rudy, did you want to do the introduction?
No, I want you to do it.
He's a man from the East Coast.
There you go.
He's well known up and down the vintage baseball landscape. I don't even know what team he's a member of because I've seen him in just about every uniform. It's Christopher Moran. Chris, how you doing?
Great. How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me on here.
Oh, I'm doing great.
Yeah, it's great to have you. When did I ask you to do this? Did I ask you at Old Beth Page to do this?
I think you asked me just after.
I was way too intimidated. No, I was intimidated to come up and talk to you for crying out loud. Dude, 57 years old. I'm not going to say it again because if you see this on the YouTube later, you won't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't understand it.
I don't believe I'm 57 either. I don't believe I'm 57 either.
I thought you were in your 40s.
There's other things I won't tell you that age me quite a bit. So
don't tell me. Don't ruin the fantasy, Chris.
Oh God.
57 years old. You look better today than I've looked any day in my life. Rudy, you're a good-looking man. I'm sorry, you got nothing.
No.
Sorry, Rudy. I'm really, it's all my mother's fault, quite honestly.
There you go. That mothers will do that to you.
Yeah. I got her good genes.
Chris, yeah, thanks for joining us. We know that there's a lot of vintage baseball talk that's about to happen. We're very excited about it. Like I said, what team are you? The official member of what club right now?
All right. So currently, I am a member of the Connecticut Baseball Club of Hartford. So we go by a couple of different names when we're on the road. So we'll be the Connecticut Bulldogs when we're at home, and on the road we'll be the Connecticut Liberty. So I've played for a couple of other teams on the East Coast here. I played for the Whately Pioneers just before I joined these guys, and that was a while ago. I took a couple years off, had some personal stuff I had to deal with, and then the Hartford Senators prior to that, I was with those guys for 12 years.
Okay, the Hartford Senators, do they still exist?
No, they don't. Only in our hearts, just in our hearts, man.
Okay, because I did see a picture of you in that uniform. I've seen you in a picture of many different uniforms. Can you go ahead and go through the list of every different uniform you've ever worn right now?
Oh boy. Let's see. Well, when I started out in '99, I think I actually had a Providence Gray uniform on. My first game ever, I played for the Providence Grays, and that was part of a tournament we were putting on here in Hartford. I was not on any team, but I was so interested, and they, being the cordial guys they are, invited me to play. I think it was Brian Travers. And then right after that, we started up the Hartford Senators. And from the Senators, I played for the Whately Pioneers. Probably played a game or two for the Wheelmen. I don't know. I played. When anybody needs a player, I'll go out and everybody needs a catcher, right? So have catcher, win travel.
Are you still doing the catching?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best position on the field, man. Best position on the field.
You're playing what? You're playing 84 out there on the East Coast, right?
We do. We're not as much as we have in the past. The Hartford Senators that I started with and helped build up, we were strictly 86 and 84, and we did that, till about 2012, and that kind of fizzled. The team just kind of, it aged out. Basically, we aged out. Some personal stuff kind of made me take a look and say, hey, I think this is done. And from there, I moved on to the Whately Pioneers. They're a bunch of great guys up there in Deerfield, Mass. And the Babe and Haas and Jay Sadowski, they needed a catcher. And I said, I'd be more than happy to catch.
Everybody needs a catcher. You probably get a lot of calls still to this day. You probably have no fear. I would assume you got no fear back there. Is that safe to say?
There's always a fear. There's always you fight the fear. You're always going to get a ding, right? So you can't think about it. You can't think about it, or you're not going to be any good at all. You're going to be picking balls up against the backstop. So
let me ask you.
Tell us about the. Go ahead, Rudy.
Yeah, let me ask you this: the fear, getting dinged. I caught in high school. I know. Nice flex. But let me ask you this question. The thought of being in that stance, just thinking about it, makes my quads burn. So let me ask you, what is your routine? Is it just such a second nature position for you to be in that it's just a natural position for your body? Or is there a routine you go through pregame and postgame to prepare your body to catch a game?
Not really, man. I just go warm up and do the normal routine and just pray that I got enough juice in the juice to get through a game. We used to catch double headers too. So back when I was much younger, I was probably 40s, in my 40s.
Oh my gosh, Barrel, this guy's making me sick.
No.
Chris, tell us about the time you got hit in the penis with the ball.
Oh my God, how many times did that happen?
No, I want the main
honestly
story.
yes, no doubt. It's always that, and it's always that time. It's always that time you forget to put the cup in. It's always the time you forget to put the cup in, and right in the old, you know what? Absolutely. Yep. Murphy's law. Yeah, Murphy's law.
I mean, you when you take it off.
For us Irishmen, we'll get hit the penis every once in a while, even us Irish guys.
The cup is not a perfect instrument. So it does provide some protection, but if you get hit square on the cup, there's still pain. I mean, it's still. I don't know. How have we not made any improvements on the cup? Have we? I don't even know.
Well, what wasn't there some quote about why the first thing the men protected was the piece of equipment was the cup before the helmet got involved? So
good point. It's a very good point.
We haven't progressed very far.
Damn it. So you're out there with the Connecticut team. So you're dealing with Mr. Ciccarello, friend of the show, I think.
Yes, Chuck. Yes, sir.
Great.
Yep.
And if you go back in the archives, way back to season 1, oh my God, it's like episode 3. That's 196 episodes ago. I interviewed Chuck Ciccarello just because I heard his name. I had never had any interaction with him whatsoever until that interview. Anyway,
How was that interview? Good? Chuck's the man.
Chuck he's something. We got into it over, what was that, Rudy? I was asking him what he thought of Midwest vintage baseball. And because I was giving him what Midwest vintage baseball thought of East Coast baseball. He wasn't too thrilled with that question. He misunderstood. He misunderstood the question, I think. But we've made up. But he's actually been on the show.
I think it was
multiple
with you.
times.
He was at Bethpage, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a silent assassin at Old Bethpage, because he would just come in, say some stuff, and then be gone. I'd be like, he's talking.
Like
I turn around to look at the board for a second. I turn around, he's gone. I don't know what happened. He said what he had to say and he was gone, like a wizard.
Like Chuck.
Okay, so I want to know, back in 1999, you had on a Providence Grays jersey, probably, whole uniform, probably thanks to Brian Travers. If you go back in the archives, we could do that all night. I want to know how you came across vintage baseball, your thoughts when you first saw it, and did you actually see it before you played it?
You know what? It's probably I came across it probably like most of the guys out there from that got involved about the same period I got. It was with the Smithsonian article, right? The Smithsonian.
Oh yeah,
article.
yeah.
We saw that, I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. Where are these guys doing this? There's a gentleman you guys might know. His name is Greg Martin. I don't know if you know Greg. He owns and runs the Vintage Baseball Factory.
Yep.
So Greg, I think he's still doing that. I think he's still selling baseballs. I'm not sure of what he's doing with the uniforms and all that. But Greg and I were pretty tight back then, and I helped him build out that company. Helped him market it, all that good stuff. So part of that whole marketing thing was, let's bring some teams into Hartford and put on a little festival. And so we did that in '99. It was kind of like a small, maybe, I think there might have been maybe 6 teams, some from Connecticut, some from Rhode Island, and some from New York. It might have been even Roxbury. I don't remember off the top of my head. But so we did it. And that was a success. It was right downtown at Bushnell Park, which is this like a small mini Central Park in Hartford. Built the same gentleman who built Central Park built Bushnell Park. It was this bucolic little park in the middle of all these sky rises. It was beautiful. It was great. I mean, people loved it. Guys were out at lunch watching the game, saying, "What the heck are you guys playing?" And introduced them to this game. So then the next year we did the same thing. We actually put a small team together here in Hartford, the Senators. We weren't really official, but we played a couple of games in the tournament. As soon as I saw the game and stepped on the field, it was, like, where has this been all my life?
Yep.
Why haven't I been playing this since I was 5 years old? But yeah, I fell instantly in love with it. So just being, I love the history of the game. I love, just even the way, the ephemeral, the baseball card, all those old baseball cards, all the old pictures, all the old uniforms, all that kind of romantic feel of baseball from that era, kind of just sealed the deal for me. Then to get out there and play and, play without the gloves, it's just, it's amazing.
Yeah, you didn't run across vintage baseball until what, 34 years old then?
That's
is that about right?
That's about
so,
right.
I'm good with the math,
Look at you.
It took you a little bit. Were you writing, scribbling down something on the paper there?
While you were talking, he was doing the math.
Well, here's how I did the math. So Chris graduated from high school in 1983.
That's
and
right.
so I take 7 years, because I'm much, much younger than Chris, 7 years younger. And
have you hit the big 5-0? Nice.
And I don't know, I hit 51 back in February. So whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know I came across vintage baseball when I was around the same age, I want to say, and it was really depressing. Like, I really could have used another dozen years of this in my life.
Absolutely.
That I totally missed. What was your baseball experience like up until then? Like, were you playing any high school ball?
Well, I grew up in a very athletic family, mostly football though. My family was, football and baseball. Baseball kind of filled in the gap between football seasons, but I've got four brothers, so I'm the number four of five guys in my family. My older brothers all played D1 football. I was going to go out and play football, but things happened in my life that I had to take responsibility of certain things, and went and got a job. Got a job, and no college baseball for me. I played high school baseball, and played Legion and all that fun stuff. But after that was the end of my baseball career. Played softball here and there. Then I played some Twilight, and I played some once my kids got older, I played some Twilight around the area, and a lot of softball.
Boo softball. So when you say a lot of things happened in your life and you had to get a job and stuff, you had kids. Okay, let's face it. Everybody.
I had kids. I had kids at a very young age.
Your lives stop, and you have to be a grown up. And,
I don't know if I'm a grown up yet, but I've been trying since 19 years old.
Nice.
And yeah, I've been there with that. I'm still working because I had kids when I was young. What? I got a daughter who's 28 years old. No, she's 30.
Well, no, you can't remember her name, her age. Oh man, you're in trouble.
Listen, I know her birthday because it's the same day as Kirk Gibson. Okay, so I'm offended by that comment.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's May 28th, by the way, just in case nobody believed me out there.
There
but
we go.
I was just, oh my God, she is 30 years old. Your oldest is how old, Chris? 29?
He's 38.
38?
Topher is 38. Yep.
Is your second one 29?
He's actually Drew, who plays with me on the Connecticut Ball Club. He is 26. He's 26,
I was close to there.
21-year-old.
That was my next line of questioning is that you came into vintage baseball at pretty much like the prime years of being a vintage baseball player in the sense of our community.
Sure.
Did your children naturally gravitate to it like you did, or did you like invite them out? What was that process like?
I think at that point, baseball kind of consumed me.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing on like three baseball teams, coaching my kids' baseball teams. So it was just it was part of our lives, right?
Yeah.
So they would come out and be bat boys for the team, and then as soon as they got old enough and they wanted to get out there, go for it. I think my son Drew played some 86 for Whately when he was 14.
Shut up! That's awesome.
Yeah, he went out and pitched a couple innings against Westfield. He did okay. He did pretty well. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So my oldest didn't. He was off in California. He's lived all over the country. He's a world shaker. He's an amazing just guy all around.
That's fantastic. And like, it's also cool because like getting them involved so early, like speaking at like, so my little brother was a bat boy here in the Midwest until
Is Ian your little brother?
Oh no. Ian is my older brother. There's a third one. Eric.
Oh, okay.
Eric started as a bat boy, and like it, he was just itching. He was like, I want to play. I want to get out there. And so like, yeah, we were starting around that age as well, playing, not 86. That didn't come into our lives until we got out to New York in like, I think 1998 and got to play our first game like that. But that's the one thing I love about our community is that like you can bring a whole family in and the family gets interest. And then eventually hopefully, that family will pick up where we left off as old men. So
I mean, baseball in and of itself is pretty familial, right? It's a very familial thing. And I think what we have as a community and as a project is even more about family. And, honestly, what we do as a community is it's a brotherhood, sisterhood. I think once you come in, it's really hard for guys to leave. Not that I think they find it hard to leave. It's just some of my best friends still to this day are the guys that I played vintage baseball with.
Exactly.
They might not say the same thing about me, but whatever.
Well, on that subject, let me ask you this, Chris. There has been a smattering of people that were very involved in vintage baseball as far as playing, organizing, managing, umpiring. And when I have noticed, and this is something that's happened within the last couple of years, when it's time to step away, they do a 100% step away. There is no partial step away. It seems like they have to cut the cord completely, almost. And I haven't talked to these people yet, but I'm curious. Is it because it's too hard? It's almost like a failed marriage or something where you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to see it because now you're just sitting there and you're watching something that's probably hard for you to do. What do you think about that?
I think I can understand that completely because I think I did it. I did, I had to step away just to, things were going on and you had to, sometimes life gets in the way, right? And if I didn't step away, I probably would have, probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much playing. So I think stepping away completely kind of resets yourself. And then I came back. It was a couple years ago.
Was part of it, if you were even involved a little bit, you knew it would just drag you back in? Like you couldn't do a little? It had to be all or nothing?
Yeah, I'm kind of that kind of guy anyways. It's all or nothing. I think if you talk to most of my friends, they say Chris is pretty intense. So it's all or nothing, and that's how I kind of play the game. And, thank God vintage came into my sports life because I think sometimes I took things a little too seriously, and vintage definitely is a place where the community, it's all about respecting the game, respecting your opponents and respecting your teammates. And I think sometimes that gets lost on today's modern ballists. Softball. I can't play softball anymore because it drives me crazy. These kids are out there, almost breaking my leg trying to break up a double play. It's like, really? I got to go to work tomorrow.
If you can't, just elaborate on what that process was like. Because we all come in to vintage baseball with that competitive nature. It's ingrained in us as individuals. Everybody wants to win. Especially having your children join. Well, one of your kids join the club and play the game. Was it mainly just the people around you that helped you learn or relearn the way to play baseball in the way that we play in vintage baseball? Whereas, you're going to care for the other people that you play against. You want to win, but like you said, you got to go to work the next day. You've got, there's a care that is involved in a vintage baseball match. Was that something that took a while for you to learn? Or was there an individual, was it Brian, that said, hey, listen, this is how we do things here?
No, it wasn't Brian. I laugh only because we are very competitive with each other.
Yeah.
So, especially against the Grays. But, I don't know if it was necessarily a step-by-step process. There was definitely a process of just being introduced to it. And with that, you're kind of like, all right, I gotta know my place.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of learn by seeing these men and women put on a game and, not let the game overtake good sportsmanship and gentlemanly play, right?
Yeah.
That's probably it didn't take me long. I was one of those guys who used to throw his bat,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And I was the guy that ran guys over, and I was an idiot. You know, but not in a softball field. Never on a softball field.
No, yeah.
But in high school and
Yeah.
all that, and I was the guy that was trying to run through walls to make a play.
Oh gosh, yeah, I know about that for sure.
Softball players are awful people. What just happened? Chris, let's go all the way back to I want the earliest memories. And I know you brought up football, and there's going to be a lot of football, but sift through all the football. We'll talk football in a little bit.
Awesome.
Your earliest memories of baseball and what it looked like in your neighborhood and with your friends.
All right. So I was born in Providence, Rhode Island. Grew up in a neighborhood just outside of Providence called Smithfield, Rhode Island. My earliest memory, honestly, I think I was 3 years old, playing in the sandlot between houses with my older brothers. And I went up left-handed, and they started yelling at me, "Dude, what are you doing?" I'm like, "This is how I want to hit." So that's my earliest memory for sure, playing ball. But
when you're getting a little bit older, and you're trying to get kids together in your neighborhood, but you can't come up with 17 other friends to play baseball. It's impossible.
That was always the case. I never had like 18 guys on a field. Never.
So what were some of the circumstances, field wise, rules wise, that you had to incorporate into your baseball life early?
There was a lot of home run derby, or you call your field. Right? So if you had, let's say you had 4 guys a team. All right, you had an outfielder, infielder, and then ghost runners, and pitcher's mound is an out, right? Back to the pitcher for the out. So you have to call your field. That's it. Yeah.
Gloves or bare hand?
I think it depended on the day. Well, mostly, a lot of wiffle ball.
Yeah.
But gloves sometimes, depending on the field, right? Not every field can support a hard ball.
Yeah, I feel like children. I love when you ask this question, because I feel like when we're almost, as vintage baseball players, we learn how to catch a ball barehanded better, like first and better, and then we get the glove, and then we lose all that initial hand-eye coordination that makes you a great fielder because you rely on the glove. And then it's like you're being reintroduced to it once you discover vintage baseball. As a kid, I never had the glove. Like, we had a tiny yard, so we would just use tennis balls, racket balls, whatever we could find to hit. And yeah.
I know all about that kind of backyard play, and tape the wiffle ball together, get some electrical tape, and tape that wiffle ball back up together because it's the only one we got. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You guys play in here's a question, just a rules question that I'm not sure about. 84, 86 baseball. You guys what year did they stop the whole you have to use the ball the entire match? The same ball.
That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know.
Are you guys using the same ball for 86 rules, or are you switching out?
We usually provide 2, just to keep the game the pace of play going. Because if not, then it'd be a really, really slow game. A lot of foul balls. You're going to be chasing that ball. So I know at Old Bethpage, when I first started playing in Old Bethpage, we would try and play with 1 ball. Yep.
Have you done any umpiring?
I have, yeah. Both 86 and 64. Yep.
Can you compare and contrast your umping style to Dean Emma's?
To Dean Emma's? I try to be as good as Dean. Dean's
that man's in control of the entire match.
What's that?
He's in control of the entire match.
He should be.
And he should be, and nobody messes with him. I would believe.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, don't bring up that guy.
Yeah, I watched him do that game. I think you were there against the Canton Cornshuckers. He did a great game. He called a great game.
Yes, and he's got this bitch face on the entire time, so nobody approaches him. It's like, no, just no.
Yeah, I couldn't. I love Dean too much, and we have such a special relationship. I don't think I could be a part of any type of 86, 84 game when he is umping, because I would just want to chat with him and give him shit and just talk to him, and that's what I'm used to. I couldn't.
You might get some calls though. You might get some calls if you do that. So it's always good to have, as a catcher, it's good to have a good rapport with the umpire. Yeah.
I have a feeling he's not biased at all. I just have this feeling about him. How many games did you play on that main field at Old Bethpage that weekend? I know I saw you once.
I think we played twice. Once each day. Yeah, we played. We played the Canton, and then we played. Actually, I think it was two that first day, and then we played the Atlantics, and both teams swamped us, gave us a good beating, but we just
they whooped that ass. But you can actually go back into our archives for the audio of those games. I did gameplay of those.
Okay.
I fell in love with the 84 baseball that day. I fell in love with it. Wow. It was just
what about it did you like so much?
I always think baseball is like this chess game, and I don't see a lot of teams in the Midwest. Sorry, Midwest, I'm picking on you again. I just don't see them out there playing chess. I see them out there crushing. I see them out there playing softball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I like.
Do you think the non-stealing contributes to some of that non-chess and just?
I think we do the non-stealing because of. I think we do it because of the kind of players that come into vintage baseball can't do it.
Okay.
We're getting a different type of ball player in the Midwest, and I think the rules sometimes show that.
Mm-hmm.
And Rudy, I'm going to let you go off on this on a little bit, but when you're talking 67 ball, which is the higher skill level in the Midwest, you're talking about a lot of beef. There's a lot of beef on those teams. Hence, there's no stealing.
I think it's the pace for me. It's the pace of play. I grew up playing vintage baseball here in Ohio, got accustomed to a certain style of vintage baseball. Living and playing in New York was the breath of fresh air that, I needed to be like, oh my gosh. And I think barrel roller, you can hear it when you're calling the game. It's the pace. Everything is moving. And it's not just an 86, 84 thing. It's a 64 thing. The pace of the game is quicker. They don't mess around. And yes, we do have beefy guys, Ian Frias, that just get up there and
that's some solid beef though. That's solid beef, and he can motor. He can motor for a guy his size.
That's different beef. That's not the beef I was referring to.
No, but they like it. It's
he hits it so far. Does he really have to run that fast?
Exactly. I saw that guy. We just played a game 2 weeks ago, and he crushed, and the ball was garbage. Let's just say. I mean, the ball was absolute.
So it wasn't a corky ball. Let's hope it wasn't.
It was not. I don't know where it came from, but it needs to stay wherever it came from. But he crushed the ball. Easy stand-up double. Could have had a three-bagger if he was hustling, but he ran into the first baseman, and he was just like, never mind. And so he just stopped in the middle and walked back to first base. So yes, once he gets going, he can't get that stop. But anyways, so
what was the first baseman? Was the first baseman okay?
The first baseman definitely moved. The first baseman wasn't a little guy either, and it was just he wasn't expecting it. He didn't know what to do. But I think this East Coast Midwest style that everyone, there is a difference, unfortunately. And yes, I would agree that stealing does play a role in it, and we're getting closer. It's baby steps. It's something I've been working on. We've been working on for barrel roller. There are unrestricted teams in the Midwest. Do you know how many unrestricted teams existed in the Midwest prior to 5 years ago?
2. Was it just one? Which is the one?
The regulars.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So now that's getting there. We're getting there. It's just going to be a slow process.
So the fun guys aren't they're not unrestricted because what they came east and they seemed all right with the game when they played.
You're seeing teams from the Midwest being willing to play any style, and I think that's what you came across with the Fillmore Fungi, but that's not what they played. No, they were just willing to play it. When I'm calling the game, I don't mean to sound like a professional here, but when I'm calling an 84 game, I don't have to fill, for one thing, because there's balls and strikes that are happening. There's things, and it's nonstop. When Rudy and I were calling the Flat Rock Invitational and everything, even at the World's Tournament in Greenfield Village, it's awful, is we're filling because so many pitches are being taken. And Rudy, by the way, that reminds me.
What year is that usually are they playing in that tournament? 64 or 67?
67. They are not very quick to get to people swinging the bat or calling balls. They don't get there.
I mean, that's why the strike zone became involved, right? That's why it evolved. And
so we're filling time and stuff between every pitch. Rudy, what I want to do in the future is I just want to have a little bell sound on my board. So even though we're talking and we're filling because there's another pitch and another pitch and another, I want to hit the ding every time a pitch goes by. So everybody knows that a pitch just happened. They just hear us talking, and we're not going to sit there and talk about just another pitch that went by and nobody did anything with it. It's not a ball. It's not a strike. It's not a thing.
Yeah.
And we don't play,
radio,
the balls.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Right. It's terrible sometimes.
Well,
it's a good thing we had Rudy and Jeff Kozlowski. I don't know. I talked to myself out that.
Is that normal for the Midwest game?
You know what, Chris? It 100% is, because in this very game that I was just referencing, I was pitching, and I am up there, and I'm throwing 10 pitches before the ball is put into play. And these aren't crap pitch. I mean, yes, some of them were bad, but there was one guy who let 3 pitches right down the center of the plate, belt high, just watched them, and then made a comment. It was like, I didn't expect you to throw good pitches. And then that at bat gets at bats take a long time here, Chris. It's pretty ridiculous. That's the one I'd rather have balls and strikes over stealing. That's if I could say it.
Yeah,
I need someone to call some balls and strikes. Just get it going.
Yeah. We kind of see that sometimes when we go to other tournaments. Really, it's all contingent upon the umpire. Sometimes he'll call a quick game, like balls and strikes, and I'm not used to that. Okay, that was all right. But I would side on the fact make the guy swing the bat. That's what we're all here to do, folks. Swing the bat. So
yeah, I've had teams ask me to come out and umpire, and I tell them you don't want that, because you're going to be playing a different game, and you're going to get mad at me. Let's just no.
Is anybody ever happy with the umpire though? I think that's
our umpires. Well, I should ask you, is anybody ever unhappy with the umpires on the East? Because our umpires are pretty
without a doubt, of course. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Guys get upset. Without a doubt, guys get upset with the umpire. And
it's because you don't agree with the location of a pitch that just got called, or the umpires are more involved.
Yeah, true. That's true. Yep.
And the umpires in the Midwest, their job is to call the ball foul and to call it foul loudly. And that's it. That's the expectation out of an umpire. They can do more, but that's the expectation.
You guys have a pool of umpires, or is it always like you guys have to have somebody volunteer from the other team?
Nobody wants to umpire.
I think that's vintage baseball's biggest
yes.
need. I think it's a universal, no matter where you go, without a doubt.
I will umpire. I will call matches. I don't, I've been doing this long enough that I'm comfortable in doing it. I don't know if it's a lack of people being comfortable with the rules, are comfortable with the person having to make a call on and have people upset with them. But it is, I think, vintage baseball in general, there's just a lack of umpires. Even on my club, like when we go to an event and we're asked to umpire a match that we have off, like it's rare that I get anybody to step up and be like, yeah, I'll umpire this match. It'll more likely be me. What I wanted to ask you about umpiring is, how do you handle those situations where you make a call and someone's pissed off about it? Like, what do you do?
I explained the situation. I say, that's how I saw it, man. That's how I saw it.
Nice.
You know, if you don't agree with it, well, too bad. We disagree.
That's much different than the Dean Emma glare. He doesn't say anything.
Oh, believe me, umpire a game with Brian Travers, and it's always a fun event. It's always back and forth. Brian and I are good buddies, and we always, he'll argue and I'll argue, and we'll come to a consensus, and I will always be right.
Yes.
Speaking of Brian, I got to get Brian back on here. We did an episode with him, but I did not get near as much out of him as I wanted. So we gotta look ahead to Brian Travers later this year, Rudy.
He'll hear this.
Just give him the mic. He'll fill up the hour. You won't even have to ask him a question.
He wasn't like that though. I mean, he could talk, but he wasn't like one of those guys that just rattles, which I love, by the way. It gives me all kinds of time to do stuff. But am I going to see you at Rocky Point?
You shall. You shall see us there. You'll see me there. And hopefully my son will be there, and maybe I'll have my youngest join us too. He's a very, very good ball player. So. And
you've played at this Rocky Point Festival before?
Twice. Yeah, last year and the year prior. Yep.
Can you tell the people a little something about this festival and who puts it on and everything?
So this is a festival that goes on, I believe it's mid-August. Is it mid-August? Yeah, mid-August. Mm-hmm. And is put on by the Providence Grays. They put on a great event. It's how many fields have we got? There's 3 fields. It's at a local park. I can't remember the name of Rocky Point Park, but it used to be an amusement park. So you'll have like old little, I think there's, like, what's the thing that used to take the
carousel?
A what?
Merry-go-round. Carousel.
Not a merry-go-round. Like ski lift, like a ski lift type thing.
Oh, okay.
Out in center field. There's a couple of those, like in the like some old architecture is still there. And Babe Ruth used to actually play. There used to be a baseball field down by the water, and so there's a little plaque down there. It's a very cool little spot.
Is this the place where Babe Ruth ran into the water after a match or something like that? There's some story. This is it. Sweet.
I mean, you can see Newport right across the bay. It's a great little spot. You'll love it. It's hot as hell though.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah. So I'm going to be there the Saturday. That would be the
17th, is it?
19th. 19th is Saturday. 20th is Sunday. Okay, I'm going to be there for the 19th, calling all the games on whatever field I set up at. Yeah, and then I'm going to be in Boston for the week for the first time ever, and I'm going to Fenway Park to watch the Tigers destroy the Red Sox.
Very well could happen. Sox are not a very good ball club this year. They're okay.
That's right. Yesterday was the first time all season I said, you know what, Tigers, not that good. I've been giving excuses. I've been giving excuses all season about how we're hurt. Lots of players on the disabled list. If we just had everybody, and they're still hanging in there pretty good, hovering around 500. But you know what? Not a good team. Nope. Yeah. I'm out.
Well, you'll enjoy Fenway Park. Fenway's great. Fenway's the neighborhood is awesome. It's a great atmosphere.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Chris, it says here, oh damn it, I lost my screen. It told me what you do for a living, or at least what you used to do for a living.
What do I do for a living?
Former design director.
I was in TV for a long time. I did broadcast TV for a long time, and currently I'm an editor, videographer for a media company. And
that explains the looks.
No, I'm always behind. I'm always behind. I'm the production guy.
Is that how you met Chuck?
No, actually, no. I just met honestly, Chuck. How did I meet Chuck? On the Whately team, the Whately team. He was a member of the Whately team. That's how I met him. And then like those couple of years that I took off, he would invite me out to play some 86. And I'd play, I'd play a couple of 86 games. We'd play against the Providence club. I'm not sure what, not the Grays, but the Hens, the Game Hens.
You graduated, or you didn't graduate. I don't know if you graduated. Boy, I shouldn't have let off of that. You studied fine arts at the Central Connecticut State
The
University.
Blue Devils, yes, Central. Yeah.
What are the fine arts that you studied? What exactly were you in?
Commercial design and marketing. So it's graphic design basically with a marketing minor.
So is that what you were doing with the TV? Is you were doing like
Yeah, I was doing I was in operations first because I was a dad, so I took whatever job they had and worked there, worked in operations, worked my way up through I worked in almost every department at the TV station. So
cameraman?
Sure. Cameraman.
You did cameraman, huh?
Of course, yeah. Camera and switcher and graphics and you name it. I did it.
Have you ever had to utilize your skills for vintage baseball?
Well, I don't know what you mean by my skills. Which skills?
Well, I see you out there taking pictures all the time.
Yeah,
You're
I
out there
do.
taking a
Yeah,
ton
like
of
graphic
pictures.
design. Yeah.
I do. I haven't put up a website in a while, but I with Greg Martin and his Vintage Baseball Factory, all that stuff was designed by me, mostly like the website and the logo and even some of the uniforms. So yeah, we also know we did do a game on ESPN, and I helped out, with some of those guys. So yeah, it was very cool.
What do you do now? It says you stopped doing that in 2015. What is your current occupation like?
We got everything. I feel like I'm on an interview for a job. I was working for a marketing agency for a couple of years, and now with COVID, things kind of, changed, and now I work for we call ourselves a digital marketing company. We do a lot of digital displays for corporations in the area, hospitals and museums and all that. Yeah. And we build content, we create content for them too.
What is something that you collect nobody knows about? You're a collector of something, right? Everybody collects something. What is it?
I don't know if nobody knows about it, but I collect a lot of baseball paraphernalia, ephemera, and a lot of catchers' masks. I collect catchers' masks. Yeah.
And you're talking 1880s catchers'
Yeah.
masks.
Well, I don't know if they go back that far. They might be like turn of the century. Yeah.
You just did a little look there. Yeah, you got something? You got?
I do. That's gonna show up.
Oh, look at that.
I think Gunner's got probably 10 of these things.
That's a
Gunner Genovese. So yeah, I got several of them. But we put them to use. So yeah.
Nice.
It's time to talk football, Chris. Talk to me. Who's your team?
You know what? That's funny. I grew up don't hate me. I grew up a Cowboys fan. I was a Roger Staubach fan. I loved the Cowboys, but when Jerry Jones came in, dude, I had to leave. I don't like how he treated Tom Landry. So now I guess I'm a Patriots fan. I root for players. I'm not a big NFL guy. I root for players. So
no, you root for who's ever America's team at the time. That's what you do, Chris.
It does sound like that. I swear to God, it does sound like that. But seriously, I mean, I am from New England, so
yeah,
it only makes sense.
It's not your fault. It's just natural.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Yeah, it's
Tom Brady.
Patriots fans are awful people. When I was growing up, the Cowboys were on. It seemed like every week following 60 Minutes, the Cowboys were on. Yeah. Danny White was actually who I grew up with was Danny White.
Sorry, Danny was not.
Well, I wasn't a Cowboys fan, so I didn't care, but it was football I got to watch.
You're a Lions fan?
No, I'm a Lions supporter. I
I'd love to
refer
see
to
the Lions
myself
do
as
something.
that.
I'm going to root for the
Is-
Lions this year. I got to root.
Is I go to Lions games. I root for the Lions. I want them to do well, but I believe that the true definition of fan is taken from the word fanatic, and I am not fanatical about the Detroit Lions because whether they win or lose, I do not feel any emotion about it.
Gotcha.
Therefore, I cannot call myself a fan. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan.
Okay.
I bleed the teal and orange like no man should. It's a terrible existence.
It's interesting how football has no like regional alliance. Really doesn't. You could, not like baseball. Baseball, if you're from New England, you root for the Sox. You're from Michigan, you root for the Tigers.
I would say there's a lot of Braves fans out there because they were the only team you could get on TV on a regular basis. So you fell in love with the Braves.
Yeah.
The reason why I went to the Dolphins is because when I was first getting exposure to football, Dan Marino was on the University of Pittsburgh, and they played those games every Saturday. It was like Pittsburgh and Notre Dame. I saw those teams every Saturday, and I'm like,
or Sunday
Dan
morning.
Marino was, sure. And I was like, well, whatever team he goes to, that's where I'm going. And that's where it was. He got drafted by Miami. He should have been drafted by Kansas City. They thought he had a little bit of an attitude problem, and the attitude problem was a guy who wanted to win. So good job on that, Chiefs.
Never won a Super Bowl, though. He never won a Super Bowl. Came close.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. He went to win his first year. His first full year as a starting quarterback, he went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's not his fault he ran into the greatest quarterback of all time, not Tom Brady. Joe Montana is who I'm talking about.
I understand. Yeah.
I cannot. We will not do
Definitely.
Tom Brady talk. I'm also a Michigan State fan. We will not.
You're not a Wolverine fan, huh? Not a Wolverine fan? Not a big
No, God, communists. No way.
That's awesome. I think college football is much better as a fan to go watch live than an NFL game. I'm not a big NFL live guy. It's not the experience I want.
I usually go down to just about every state game. I didn't last year, but that's been our modus operandi, and it's a great experience. I love it. The tailgates are great.
Are they on campus?
The camaraderie of the fans. Everybody's your friend.
Is it on campus? Do they play on campus, or is it off?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even better.
And the beautiful thing at Michigan State, and I don't know how it is around the rest of the college landscape, but there's never any fights. There's never any issues. There's never kids. All the kids are so well behaved, at least the ones I see. The only problem is when they win a big game, they like to throw their couches out and set them on fire. Hey, kids are kids,
Sounds like an average Saturday night,
Hey, how's your season gone so far, Chris?
We're starting off pretty good. We've had a couple of rain dates, but we started off pretty good. Knock on wood. We've been hitting the ball and fielding the ball well, so that usually equals wins. So
Nice.
We've been winning. Yeah.
Tell me some of your favorite places up and down the East Coast. There's so many great locations to play baseball at. I just heard about this George's Island in Boston thing.
Yeah, I've never been there. I've been invited. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. But you know what? I like the Sandlots the best. So there's a place in well, it's not Providence, it's Cranston. When Patrick Riley, he started the Olneyville Cadets. Olneyville's a neighborhood in Providence.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically a neighborhood playground. And let's just say other things would go on at that playground that was not necessarily family friendly.
Sounds like a Saginaw experience.
But I tell you what, it was a total Sandlot. It felt like like you're playing in the movie Sandlot. It was just like this. I think there was playgrounds in left field, and but it was a great place to play. I loved it. And then we played it was a double header there. It was an 86 game, and there was a team from New Hampshire called New Hampshire Granite playing the Pittsfield Hillies, Jim Bouton's team, and these two teams were stacked. These guys we're talking just fantastic baseball players. I saw probably the best vintage baseball game of my life. These guys, two guys played minor league baseball that were pitching, and it was just, I think it was a 3-1 game, and the New Hampshire team won in the last inning. It was great. It was great. People were going crazy. People were arguing. It was great in this little tiny neighborhood playground. It was awesome.
We got somebody from the New Hampshire Granite coming on the podcast in a month or two. Brian Donahue.
Brian
Catcher.
Donahue. Okay.
He was the catcher of the Granite. He's going to come on.
He probably knows Sean Berry. He was the pitcher. Sean's a great pitcher. He played up at Keene State and played for the Mets organization. And then he had his buddy Pete Duda, who he's the guy that started New Hampshire Granite. He was their catcher. Fact about him, he never wore a cup and he caught every game. I'm like, hey, what are you doing, bro?
Wow.
We're out of time. Damn it. Chris, we did not have enough time with you.
No, let's keep going. What do you mean we're out of time?
I mean,
what are you running up against? What's the next show? What's the next show on the reel?
No, we don't have. No, we'll keep talking. We're gonna keep talking until Rudy's wife yells downstairs. How's that? It's not yet, Rudy. We're not there yet. Chris, have you ever played any Midwest teams like Gettysburg or anything like that? Have you played a Midwest?
Yeah, we did. We played the Fillmore Fun Guy and Bethpage. Was it last year?
Okay.
I think it was last year or the year prior.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I think that's it.
So you don't have experience with the big hitters. The big hitter.
No, that's not true.
In the Midwest.
I guess Canton. We played Canton last year too. Canton.
We played Canton at Bethpage, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they got owned. You guys got so owned.
Yes,
It's what's frustrating about Canton is they don't look like world beaters. You look at them and you're like,
every ball they
play
hit
the
was
game
screaming.
right.
That's for sure. Every ball they hit was screaming right by the pitcher or over the outfielder's heads.
They loved that match. They loved playing that style of baseball. They were just in Colorado. They just played a weekend in Colorado. Nice. They travel. They want to play everybody and all the rule sets. And they have no life. They don't understand children, Chris. They don't understand relationships and stuff like that. They just don't get it yet. They're having too much fun.
A fact about the Harvard Senators regarding relationships is not good. I think in the 12 years we existed, there were probably 8 divorces.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. What the hell?
Some of those road trips were a blast. So let's just believe it.
What are some of your favorite road trips? Like, and let's talk about because road trip.
I think you're not a vintage. I don't think you're a vintage baseball team until you go on a road trip. I don't think you're really a team. I mean, that's where you really. First of all, that's where you have the most fun, and that's where you actually bond as a team.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of my funnest was Hancock, New York, which is like on the Delaware River in southeastish New York, and it is in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Middle of nowhere. We were at some festival. We got down there on a Friday night, and it was middle of July. It was hot as heck, and we were out till 4 a.m. at the local bar. Closed down the local bar, and we go out and play a doubleheader in 100-degree heat.
And you know what, barrel roller. I learned this from Dean. It's called the BBA, the bounce back ability, and because they took us out in North Carolina. Well, they didn't take us out. We went out drinking with the Atlantic Baseball Club in North Carolina and shut the place down. And then we had to play them at like 10 o'clock the next morning. We did not bounce back like them. So let's just say that it was a rough match.
Sometimes it's strategic, though. Sometimes it's strategic.
That's
sure.
Tournament.
Here's some Here's some shots, guys.
Wait a second.
No,
Wait a second.
seriously.
You stop it right now, Chris. This was
Seriously.
13 years ago. Are you telling me I got played by the
Oh,
Atlantics?
I
definitely.
think you definitely got played.
Oh my God, I've
I
heard
think
this
he got
story.
played willingly, though. I think he
You
got played
see?
willingly.
Would do that to me? That hurts my heart.
Oh, you love it. You love it.
I do.
You know, I don't drink a lot anymore because I don't want to find out what my bounce back ability is like.
Oh, no, my bounce back ability left me long ago.
Yeah, I can't bounce back. It might take me a full day. I got no time for that. Hey, you go to any Patriots games? Because I hear that stadium is out in the middle of nowhere.
It is. I actually went to the Cincinnati Patriots game last season. I think it was November. It was 0 degrees out. Whew.
Is there only one road in and out of there?
Pretty much. It's gotten better. But yeah, it's Route 1. It's it. It's not the best. It's not in the best spot. It is not in the best spot. They wanted to come to Hartford. They should have come to Hartford, but that was a ploy.
Tell us and romanticize about your current home field that you play at.
Our current
Paint a
home.
picture for us.
Paint a picture for you. Well, let's
You're
say
a graphic designer.
it is like picture old 19th century buildings. Actually, picture a 19th century prison. That's where we play. We play on an old ground that used to be a prison.
So romantic.
It is very romantic.
The Connecticut Bulldogs.
We play in old Weathersfield, and there's an old prison that we play on top of now. So, and there's a couple of buried prisoners in the yard. So, yeah.
Those are the ones you know about.
Yes.
You're not playing on top of them, are you? That's bad karma.
Well, we actually do pretty well there. I don't know what that means about us, though.
It's bad karma for the other team. What a home field advantage.
Yeah, totally.
And so romantic.
Lots of love in prison, man. There's lots of love in
if
prison.
you go online and you look up the Connecticut Bulldogs, you'll find a picture of Chuck Ciccarello in that red and white striped jacket. But other than that, you will find this place that they play at, and it looks amazing actually in all the pictures. So it's intimidating playing next to a big structure like that.
No, really, not at all. Oh, are you talking? Which field are you talking about? Because we play at multiple fields. That's the one. You're to the fort in New London. That's a totally different place.
Then I guess that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the one
The
down.
prison's not very big then.
Say that again.
The prison's not very big then.
The structure's huge. Yeah, it's a big fort with cannons on it and all that. Yeah, boats. Old boats go sailing by. It's kind of a very cool venue. But the fort's probably 1,000 feet away. Nobody's ever going to reach it.
But you are probably still playing on dead bodies, so home field still exists.
Probably.
Rudy, when you played on the Gothams, did you run across Chris at all when you were out there?
I don't believe our paths.
When did you play on the Gothams?
2008.
2008.
Yeah, 2008. I was I don't think because I joined the Gothams late June, early July.
Okay.
So I missed most, like the first half of the season, but finished it out with them. But yeah,
I don't recall ever actually playing the Gothams.
Yeah.
Because we played we strictly played 80s.
And I think the 180 game I played was against the Grays. And that was, I hadn't played an 80 game since 1998. My very first one, I was like 16, 17 years old, and I played against like Miklich and them at Old Beth.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I love playing that. That's one of our first games as the Senators. We played the Mutuals, and they were kind of like the guys you wanted to emulate.
Yeah,
right? And they had a really stacked team. They were really good.
Yeah, and I was like kind of like your son in the sense that I had to go out and pitch, and my brother caught.
Yeah,
It was wild. No, I meant, yeah, it's so wild, Barrel, that you're talking about like the Gotham's years, because like it literally, Chris, I mean, I think in the sense that if you were to come to the Midwest, you would meet individuals that are like-minded like you, but the game would be a little harder for you to digest in the moment. But like
vomit. Oh, is that not what you mean?
I didn't mean vomit. Yeah.
He would vomit on the field.
I don't think so.
But he would meet like-minded individuals that would, get what vintage baseball is about. And I think that really is something that every vintage I'll just say it right now. I think more Midwest teams need to take the Fillmore Fun Guys and the Canton Cornchuckers and early Columbus Capitals, take that approach, head out to the East Coast. There's so many clubs, so many great people out there.
We would love to have anybody that comes, and play our style of game, and we'll play a game like we'll do a doubleheader. We'll play your way, we'll play our way.
Yeah. That's a very unlikely scenario. They can't even make home matches in their hometown around here. Okay, so let's chill out on that. But what we do need, we need teams to bring in an East Coast guy. How does this sound to you, Chris? Off the top of my head, you contact one of these studs from the East Coast that have all the respect and have all the knowledge of the game. You buy them an airplane ticket. Your team pitches in. You buy them an airplane ticket to come play with your sad excuse of a vintage baseball team. And they come and they play with you in a weekend tournament and they teach you how to play vintage baseball. And then you can go back to the East Coast and you've taught people in the Midwest how to do it, at least a team.
I think there's probably a couple of guys, definitely a couple of guys on this side of the.
But you got to pay for the airplane ticket and the beer and the food. You got to treat these guys for the whole weekend, and then they will teach you everything you're doing wrong. You will hate them, but you'll be better for it.
Yeah.
At the end.
Oh, right? I'm in. Count me in. I'll chuck out whatever it is. What's it like, a $5 or something?
All right, I got 7 teams off the top of my head that could use you for a weekend to learn things. I'll let you know. Chris, tell us about your experiences in the Tough Mudder.
Oh, the Tough Mudder. I did a couple of them. They were fun, dude. They were fun. The first one I did was probably when was it? Like 2014, 2013. Mount Snow. It was a 14-mile trek up and down the mountain. It was fun. It was a good time. It's fun. You got you got to jump in an ice bath. You got to run through fire. You get electrocuted. It's fun.
No, electrocuted.
So those are those are the obstacles. Do you got to like climb things and
actually
stuff
the most frightening thing was that they had a tunnel you had to go through that was like 100 yards long, and it was not, that wasn't fun.
So you're like bear crawling through a tunnel.
Yeah, bear crawling. Yeah, it was pitch dark. It was like, wasn't like a straight tunnel. It zigzagged.
What?
So there was no light. Yeah, that was weird. That was not.
Tell us about the time you were in the Tough Mudder and you got hit in the penis.
I got electrocuted in the penis.
There you go.
Oh, what an experience that is! But we've all experienced that.
That was just like a second. Come on.
So have you done any of this Tough Mudder? You said you did it twice. Was your son a part of this at all? Did you do this with the son?
Nope. I actually did it with one of my my good buddies, Matt March, who played on the Senators, and he passed away a couple of years ago. Matt was a phenomenal baseball player and just a phenomenal guy. Matt was a great guy. He unfortunately had lost a battle with cancer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
we're sorry to hear that.
Definitely not. Matt, actually, our first game is on the Hartford Senators. Just a story about who Matt is. We played the Grays. It was raining, and we were not too bright because we actually used a modern hardball in the rain. And Matt is this phenomenal baseball player. He played center field. Somebody hit a low sinking line drive. Matt came charging in, and it's our first game. So, you learn, right? So he took one right off the fingertip.
Oh,
and he came running in. And he's like, he's holding it. And he's like, Chris, take a look. And it was basically like a banana. It was yeah. So that was our first game, first injury. Matt came back the next year.
What was your first injury?
I got hit in the penis. No, just kidding.
No, that's probably true.
I
one in the
broke a
penis.
finger. I've broken a couple of fingers. I don't know if you can kind of see that.
Oh yeah, you got a little. Those are nice shapes.
Like
Yeah.
that one right there.
Oh, look at that. That's not supposed to do that. Look at that.
No, it's not supposed to do that. That's what happens when you catch. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, catching the unforgiving position that it is.
Tools of ignorance.
If you go on Chris's Facebook page, look through his photos, and you will see photos of him without the perfect facial hair that he currently has. You look so damn young in those pictures. Jeez, I mean, you are younger, but not that young. You look young. It's carried with you your whole life. How many years would you be able to knock off your age right now if you shaved clean?
10. Easy.
Boy, I have no idea. I don't know. You tell me. I don't
10.
know.
Rudy said 10. I believe Rudy. Rudy
10.
said 10.
10. Easy. Trust me.
All right.
Chris, is it a known fact that are you single right now?
Did you see my profile?
You're single right now.
Did you see my profile on Bumble? Is that what happened?
What is Bumble? Is that
Bumble's a date?
Don't act like you don't know what Bumble is.
I don't know what Bumble is. I'm a happily married man.
Okay, all right.
The Tigers just scored on a sacrifice fly.
No, it's just one of those stupid dating apps that are just horrible.
They're not stupid. I met my wife on a dating app.
Did you? Well, good.
Which one? Which one?
Match.com.
Yay!
True story. I met her on Match.com. Yep.
Fantastic. But yes, I am single. Like it that way.
Rudy,
Not for long.
Rudy, there's something wrong in the world, brother. I don't understand anything that's happening right now. So, how many times have your teammates tried to hook you up on terrible blind dates? Tell me the truth.
Actually, my buddy Matt March hooked me up. It wasn't a terrible blind date. She was actually very nice, and we actually dated for quite a while. But he was the only teammate that did that. They all know better.
Tell us about a blind date that didn't go well.
Most of the girls I date can see though. That's All right, come on. That's my dad joke of the
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Barrel doesn't think so.
No, I do. I think you are a delight, sir. We need you know what? We're gonna play. You ever watch the game or not the game show, the TV show How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
Okay, so whenever Ted's single on there, Barney always takes him to the bar and plays the game Have You Met My Friend Ted? And then walks away. So at Rocky Point, we're gonna play a little game called Have You Met My Friend Chris? And we'll see how that turns out.
We'll go down to Newport. At least there's some probably good-looking young ladies, or older ladies.
You don't need older ladies, Chris. Jesus Christ, we're looking in the 30-year-old age group for you. Why are you?
Let's just say this, Chris. We're gonna stop beating this.
You guys are giving me a bad reputation, man.
We're gonna stop beating this dead horse, but I want you to know I'm enacting the Dean Emma clause that my wife will no longer be present at a game if I play you. Okay, so that's how this is just gonna go. Because
come on, she's probably a lovely lady, and
she's an amazing. She's the love of my life.
Why are you depriving her or me?
Well, listen. When we went to Gettysburg and we played the Atlantics, and my wife is a really accomplished photographer, and she's like, I took all these great pictures, and then
one guy.
We went through the pictures, and they're all of Dean Emma. I was like, what is going on here? So that puts this to rest. That's what we're gonna enact.
You sure she wasn't just doing that to get to you?
Yeah, well, it worked.
My wife made a comment about Jim Terwilliger's eyes once, and she hasn't been to a game against Walker since. She'll be seeing Jim Terwilliger for the first time in 8 years at the Akron Cup this in a couple weekends. So I understand all about those rules. Hey, Rudy, do you have any more questions before I wrap this up?
I do not. I mean, well, we're gonna have to do. Chris is the type of guest that deserves a second episode, so I'm good for right now. My cup
that's
hath
fine.
runneth over.
Well, hey, listen. Anytime. I love talking to you. Love talking about vintage baseball. It's obviously both a passion for all of us. I think we all in the community love what we do, no matter if we disagree on certain points of play. We all know that we come together and really respect this project, and we all love it, no matter what side of the fence you're on. We all love the game. We all respect each other. So
that's the wisdom of a 57-year-old man. But I'm curious what 37-year-old Christopher would say.
Get out of my way. Get out of my way.
Chris, come find me at the Rocky Point Festival. I'll put you in a chair next to me, and you can do some color analysis of the matches that I'm doing play-by-play on. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that sounds
You'll have
great.
a new career.
Before we well, yes, but it's actually a career you've kind of been in, just on the other side of it.
I've never been on the microphone.
Well, you just were. And now I'm going to make you a star. It's worked for Rudy. Okay.
It has.
But before I let you out of here, I do a little thing at the end of these episodes called Giving You the Old Pepper. They're just a bunch of quick questions with quick answers just to get you to know better. Here's some music. What do you chew on during a baseball game?
Besides my fingernails, sunflower seeds.
When you get hit in the penis, what is the swear word of choice?
Cocksucker.
What was the first Major League Baseball game you attended? Do you remember?
I do. It was 1975, Boston Red Sox versus the Oakland A's. I saw Jim Rice ground into 2 double plays. Yeah, Sox lost, I think. I went with my grandmother. She used to bring me to Red Sox games. So.
By the way, Rudy, Chris used up our swear word for the episode, so we can't say cocksucker anymore. Today,
Done. Okay.
Okay. We're only allowed one cocksucker. Damn it, I did it again. What is your favorite? What is your favorite pudding?
My favorite pudding
flavor. Yeah, your favorite flavor of pudding. If somebody puts pudding in front of you.
I would be chocolate. Come on, what else kind of pudding? Or banana. Banana is good.
Tapioca? Vanilla?
Do I look like an old lady?
I mean, tapioca does the body good. What is the food item that I should eat at Fenway Park?
Fenway Frank. Or sausage and peppers. Actually, sausage and peppers outside the ballpark. Don't buy it in the ballpark. Yeah, for sure.
Sausage and peppers, writing it down. What was the first concert you ever went to?
It was the Cars.
Oh my God, what did they end with? What was the closer?
Oh God, dude, that means I didn't go. It means I didn't go.
Was it Magic? Tell me it was Magic. It was Magic.
I don't recall, man. I was probably a little too big.
Who's going to drive you home?
Yeah, that's right.
No, that's not it. No, you're just listing car songs, Rudy. I'm looking for the closer because I would have no idea what the Cars would close with.
1980. I can't remember that far back.
Magic. Give me one of your baseball pet peeves.
Baseball pet peeves? Modern baseball?
Anything to do with baseball. Let's really get in there and analyze that brain of yours.
Oh,
Tell me something that
one of my
bothers you.
pet peeves is watching vintage baseball catchers catch like modern baseball. That's my pet peeve.
Oh, somebody needs to teach them.
I do. I'm not making many friends, but there's a lot of guys out there that catch like that. I was fortunate enough to see a guy for the Grays, Providence Grays, Gilly Feria, was phenomenal, and he played position perfectly. And I try to emulate it. So
Chris, name a movie that's made you cry.
Oh my God.
Don't lie either.
Probably Little House on the Prairie. Although it's not a movie. Little House on the Prairie.
What the
I love that
hell?
show. I love that show.
I did not. No offense. I've seen Little House on the Prairie. I just wasn't expecting that to be the answer.
I think it got me through COVID. I think it got me through COVID for sure.
Oh my God! I thought we were talking about when you were a kid.
You gotta watch something that makes you feel good.
You binged Little House on the Prairie during COVID.
Yeah, it made me feel good. Always a happy ending. So
was it? Was it always a happy ending? Wasn't there a blind sister? And I thought there was a lot of tragedy in that show.
Yeah, but they always survived.
I mean, Nellie Olson was a bitch. I mean,
well, you gotta have your antagonists.
Right? Yeah, I guess so. Can you name an overrated Major League Baseball player, past or present?
Oh boy, overrated. I'm probably getting a lot of people going to hate me, but I think Derek Jeter was a bit overrated.
No, I agree. I'm on this. Oh, Rudy's not going to like that. I totally agree.
I know he's got the numbers, but
he does have the numbers.
I think the pinstripes glorify the guy.
You guys are coming after the captain. I'm gonna go on mute for a second and just process this.
The best thing Derek Jeter ever did was hand out gift baskets to the models he dated when they went home.
Not just models, random people as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to throw in some randoms in there just to feel alive.
Yeah.
What
was the first car you ever had, Chris?
I believe it was a Chevy Nova.
Nice.
No, it wasn't a nice. It was like a Toyota / back like in the late 80s. I think, that car, that Chevy Nova that looked like a Toyota. Yeah, not a 1969 Chevy Nova. No, it was like a 1987 Chevy Nova. Yeah.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
Honestly, I wanted to be a boxer. Muhammad Ali was my guy. I loved Muhammad Ali. I wanted to be a boxer. And my mother said, "No effing way, man." What's that?
Oh, you didn't even get started in that? You never got to do any
I wanted
boxing?
my mother to get me a heavy bag and get me a hanging bag. She's like, "No, you're not going to be a boxer."
That is amazing. Paper, rock, or scissors?
Rock.
Your favorite baseball movie?
Sandlot.
And give us, finally to wrap this up, give us your Mount Rushmore of Dallas Cowboy football players when you were a kid.
Dallas Cowboy. Well, obviously Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett, Bob Lilly, Randy White.
That's it. You only get four.
I thought there was five. Okay.
No, there's not.
That's it. Well, I mean, does Tom Landry? I got to put Tom Landry kind of like, he was the man.
You got to take somebody off then. You got to take somebody off.
Oh, that's easy. I'll take off Randy White and put on Tom Landry.
Yeah, because we don't talk Patriots on this podcast, so we went with Cowboys. Hey, Chris, thanks so much for being on the show. You delivered, brother. People were there's a lot of anticipation, people wanting to listen to you. So I will tell you this.
I hope I didn't disappoint anybody.
You are thought very highly in the 19th century baseball community on the East Coast. You have a lot of friends. When we talk about the brothers,
lucky enough to know all those guys. So yeah,
the family and brothership that happens in vintage baseball, and it happens over here in the Midwest too. But over on the East Coast, it's a different animal, and you are a well-liked and respected man, and you should know that going forward. And people shouldn't find out about that when they're laying in their coffin at their funeral. You should know that ahead of time. So sir, you are well-liked out there, and you've gotten a great response before the episode is dropped. So a lot of people are looking forward to listening to you.
Hopefully a lot of people tune in and we boost up your program. I to be honest, I listen to you guys every week, dude. It's been my when I work out, I turn it on and I know I get an hour's worth of entertainment while I'm running and jogging and lifting weights.
Thanks. And the next time you get hit in the penis, please think of us.
I promise you, I won't. I promise you.
Thank you. Rudy, why don't you go ahead and say your goodbyes and get him out of here? I didn't say that right. that sounded cold. Why don't you say your goodbyes to Chris and we'll end this sucker?
I'm still recovering from the penis comment. Chris, it's been a pleasure to get to know you. I really hope that our paths cross in the near future. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Well, let's make sure we meet up in Gettysburg. Are you going to be there?
Unfortunately, not this year, but we've already made the pact to go next year, and I'm gonna be looking forward.
Hopefully, we meet each other prior to that. But,
absolutely.
I know your brother. And, we played a couple games together, and he's probably got a good story for you about me. It was good. It was interesting. It was one game we were not doing well. I wasn't doing well, and it showed all over my face. I wasn't doing well, and he goes to me, Chris, you got to smile, dude. You're playing baseball. And I turned to him, I'm like, what? Yeah, God damn it, you're right. Why aren't I smiling? Why aren't I smiling? So.
Oh, the wisdom of an older brother. I love it so much, man. Thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to have you back, man. You're just a delight, and best of luck this season, man.
Looking forward to next time, and
absolutely.
I will definitely see you at Rocky Point there, Beryl.
Absolutely. We'll.
What do you drink?
Whatever you bring me, I think is the answer to that.
You like a good IPA?
Yeah, absolutely.
You hesitated there.
No. I was thinking it's not number one on my list, so I was thinking, what could I say? But it's in there. It's on my list.
You gotta say what's one. You were grilling me. Now it's my turn to grill you. What's your number one drink?
Oh, in the summer?
Yeah.
Vodka lemonade is what I drink in the summer. But when I go to events, I usually whip up my own batch of moonshine. But I'm not doing that because I'm flying to Boston. But
gotcha. There's a good little drink called Fisher Island Lemonade, and it's pretty. It's whiskey though, but it's pretty good.
No, that's fine. I'll take it.
It's pretty strong. It's pretty strong too. It's not.
So am I. Don't you worry about that. So you heard it here, Chris and the Barrel Roller on, hey, I don't even know your vintage baseball moniker. What's your nickname?
It's Grit.
That makes sense.
I did know that.
That checks out.
It is Grit. So it's Grit and Barrel coming to you from Rocky Point. We're going to do some play-by-play for some of the matches, whatever he's not playing in and stuff. So that'll be fun.
Man, I can't wait to listen to that. Hey, Chris,
I love the wisdom. Yeah.
You have a great evening. All right, bud.
You too, guys. Appreciate it. It's been fun.
We'll see you later.
Peace out.
My gosh. Barrel Roller.
So Rudy,
how?
Go ahead.
How? I mean, like,
we have gotten so lucky this season. I don't even know how. Jeez. This is the best season we've ever had. Like, they got better. Like, they get better every year. I think it has nothing to do with us. Isn't that the best part? No. It has nothing to do with us. You just get people on here that have so much to talk about. Yeah. We could have done another show.
And I already had an extreme amount of guilt for not being able to be at Rocky Point because Johnny invited me after our interview last season, said, hey, you guys should come to Rocky Point. We couldn't make it work because of it coincides so closely to the World Tournament. And now just having this conversation with Chris, I'm really missing out on something special and meeting and talking to some great people. Chris was amazing.
You know what you need to do is you need to just fly out for the weekend, and I pick you up at the airport, and then drive back to the airport. You get the same flight as me leaving because I'm leaving on Sunday. I'm only staying for Saturday. I'm telling you, just a day, day.
I'm doing the math in my head. I'm going to try and make it. I feel, oh my gosh.
We'll have a place for you to stay on Friday night. If you fly in on Friday, I'll come and get you at the airport. In fact, because I could pick you up on my way there because we're in Boston all week.
You know what I'll do?
Or you could fly into Rhode Island and I could pick you up there.
I'm probably what I'll do is I'll show Michelle a picture of Chris and I'll be like, hey, I need to go talk to this guy. And she might be on board.
Yeah, so next week, no episode, as it's the 4th of July weekend, and we will be busy celebrating everybody's freedom.
Exactly.
And with many beverages and fireworks and the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do on the 4th of July usually?
We try to watch some fireworks and just and grill some food and just hang out with family. That's what we do on the 4th of July. Do you have a 4th of July tradition? Do you watch fireworks?
I'm not a fireworks guy. So I grew up in Bay City, Michigan, and they have a huge fireworks thing every year. So I saw it for so many years, and when I think of fireworks now, I think of traffic, and they're great, but they last a second. I mean, I'm not excited by fireworks. I tell you what, I went to a Great Lakes Loons game here by where I live. They're a high A affiliate of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fireworks night, their first fireworks night of the year. Those fireworks were phenomenal for a minor league baseball game. I was blown away with how good they were. And it was so easy to get in and out of the stadium. And I was like, that's it. That was my fireworks show. I'm not a fan.
Okay.
So this year I'm going to do something different. We usually have, there's multiple families that have multiple cookouts and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to take a break from it this year. I'm going to do something different. And I don't even know what that is yet, but
okay.
I'm, looking to do something different. I'm getting older. I want new experiences in my life. So
I love it.
Anyway, hey, you know what? When I'm out on the East Coast, there's a little band out there. They're called Helen and the Trash Pandas.
Oh.
And I hope that she has a gig. Oh, Helen Sheldon. I hope she has a gig somewhere that week, because I am going to hit that venue up. Down and lonely. Oh my God, it's going to be a great night for me. I can't contact her and be like, hey, you got to have a concert. Nah, I'll just wait and see.
You want it to be organic. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I can't wait for that. We're going out to Salem to check out all the witchy stuff.
That's awesome.
On Thursday. So we're going to stay in Salem. I'm going to find the most haunted hotel I can and do that. And then we're walking around Boston for Sunday, Monday. We got a game at Fenway on Sunday. We got a tour of Fenway on Monday. And then we're doing, all the toury stuff. And plus I'm a big Whitey Bulger guy. Like I've done a lot of that kind of stuff. We're going to go to the finish line of the Boston Marathon, pay our respects for what happened, back with the massacre or whatever. What do they refer to it as?
We're gonna do it all. You're gonna get a lot in. That's exciting for you, man.
It is. And let me say this right now. I am not going to let 5 millionaires who put together this shit box of a submarine that no one should have ever been diving down to the Titanic in. Never, ever. I am not going to let those people ruin your favorite sound. We are going forward with this sound. I don't want to hear anything about it from anybody. I don't care.
Thank you.
Tell me, Rudy, why was that such a story? And let me tell you something. I knew about the 700 migrants that were on a boat that was failing.
Mm-hmm.
I know that story was going on. This story captured everybody, and it was 5 people, and one of them was an idiot. And and I have to admit, it captured me. I was all on board. Why?
I think it was because we knew inevitably what the outcome would be, but we had hope that it would end differently. And I think that's what it was. I mean,
I felt the same way when JFK Jr.'s plane disappeared. I sat in front of CNN like, oh my God, find him. And I didn't even have much of an opinion of JFK Jr.
yeah.
I think stories that draw from prior disasters factor into you care about this now.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care about no damn sub going down to check out the Titanic with millionaires on it. I didn't care. I knew it was happening. That's how they were getting the 3D scan of the Titanic and all that stuff. So I knew all that stuff. I didn't care until they were going to die.
Yeah.
And I didn't care much about JFK Jr. except for he was JFK's son.
Yeah.
So I think that's what brought me in on that story.
I listened. I read a lot of articles. I listened to a lot of informed individuals about being in submarines and deep seas and stuff like that. And there was one individual who said right away at the beginning of the interview, I believe this was on like Tuesday, he said, they are dead. That's like, he started the interview like that. And then his whole interview was based around what draws people into wanting to be in that environment and do those type of things. And then, but he was like, no, he's like, the odds of them being alive are non-existent. And it was kind of like, it captivated the entire world, I would say. Well, definitely America, but I would think globally it was captivating.
Yeah, it's weird how that happens. Well, anyway, Rudy, no show next week, and then the week after that, it's episode 200.
And I've got a great one lined up for you. I'm really excited for it.
Tell me what I need to do. Do we need more? Should I find somebody?
No.
No?
I have our guests lined up.
Okay. Yeah. I'm excited. What are we going to talk about? I can do it on the fly. I don't care.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to tell you what we're going to talk about. I will just say you will have an intimate knowledge of what we will be talking about.
That time I got hit in the penis?
Yeah.